snares laying, and then wish we all of them hate to be falling. Yet in them face the witness die uprising. Feeling high, making it onto my way. No apology, fire on them every day. Conspiracy leads the game you play. Now the fall on the knees without my say. Guide over us, Holy Emmanuel, I this a road rugged and steep. I know it is a must for us to make it home, even through them you're gnashing up teeth. Young guide over us. Emperor Selassie, Isis, and knees could never get weak. I know it is a must for us to make it home, even through them you're gnashing up teeth. Them for know I'm from the mountain and the valleys. Oh, just tell me so I run both river banks. Within life you've got the valleys, yeah. Here is the Rasta youth voice giving thanks. Hey, Jaja, give my man health and strength. Working for you makes no sense. You could never put a dime in my pocket. King Selassie on the front line, so watch this. Tide over us. Emperor Selassie, I dem your road rugged and steep. I know it is a must for us to make it home, even through them you're gnashing up teeth. Hey, guide over us, Holy Emmanuel, road so rugged and steep. I know it is a must for us to make it home, through them you're gnashing up teeth. Them high statistics and economics have them going so kinky. Me draw from me Rasta man sang, me bingy drum, me calabash chalice and Babylon some mix.
Sista Moorino in the house.
Yeah, bingy Isis, our business. Me no join them slavery. Jaja them burn them bridge, spiting me big. Well, you don't know I swim across to my victory. Jaja guide over us. Emperor Selassie high, them a roads rugged and steep. I know it is a must for us to make it home. To them you're gnashing up teeth. I tell you, go and protect us. Holy Emmanuel, knees could never get weak. I know it is a must. Oh, for us to make it home. To them you're gnashing up teeth. On seat, these are those who constantly they have been placing the rocks and the traps, leaving them snares laying. And then wish we all through them hate be falling. Yet in them face the witness high uprising. Feeling high, making it onto my way. No apology, fire burn, high society. Every day, conspiracy, lead the game they play. Now we fall
I pray thee, once again. How wonderful surrounded by ones of such talent. You know? Speak like, live a humble and meek life. Ordinary day of the week life. Try to search and seek life. Way up, keep your head up and stay up. Even when you're sore and pain up. Never giving up till it's game up. Keep your aim up and focus. Don't concentrate on what's bogus. Never sell out for a bonus. Handle your biz like grown-ups. Own up, it's amazing. The wage of fire keeps blazing. That's why I constantly praising. For some of them it's a face thing. So they're gazing on the street lights till them go catch up in street fights. Cause of pretending they're streetwise and put an end to a brief life. I feel like it's a mystery how we keep repeating our history, making the same mistakes as our challenge you're faced with. Be hopeful and creative. You'll make it. It's basics. People been doing it for ages in many other cultures and places on a regular basis. There's so many cases. Let's face it, man. Way too much time has been wasted, man. Building military bases, fighting a war with no basis. Life is sacred, and every baby born naked. Some are not one like them raised big, and don't care what they're making. They can't take it, so speak life, man. All this darkness not feel right, man.
Yes, that was Guide Over Us by Sista. That's dedicated to Christine. She sent me that tune, and I know that was the tune that made me fall in love with Sizzla when he first came, when I first fell in love with Sizzla. It was Guide Over Us that really made it for me. And so this tune goes out to Christine because she sent it to me. So bless you for that, because that really reminded me of why I fell for Sizzla. Anyway, and the second tune was one of my favourites by Damian Marley, Speak Life. Absolutely brilliant tune. It's Sista Moorino here at Bless Radio 1 today on this Tuesday afternoon. The weather's, forget the weather. The weather's not going to determine how we feel within ourselves and what we have to do. I'm here today at Bless Radio 1. This is Sista Moorino. You can find us on www.blessradio.org or the TuneIn app. You can find Bless FM, and that's Bless Radio 1. You'll find us there. So today, I haven't even majorly got any topics either today. I'm just really marinating with the ancestors as I would usually do. But today, I definitely want to give praises to the Most High. The most important thing that I can do on this show is give praises to the Most High and ask my ancestors, all of our ancestors, to be here with us, because we are living in serious times, and those that are not strong they'll fail because they won't see any opportunity, whilst there is so much opportunity, and the opportunity is given by the Most High, and our guides are our ancestors who come from another realm into our realm to beckon us into to another realm, which where they reside maybe, and so it requires focused people, those that love the Most High. They're going to see benefits, they're going to see openings, they're going to see blessings. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about music and the music industry and artists a little bit today. Nothing major, because I didn't kind of plan a topic. But it's really about focusing on the Most High and how great the Most High is over our lives. And for all those going through difficult periods in their life and feel that there's no way out, I'm hoping my voice is reaching out into the atmosphere and saying, stop, take a minute, think about it. And there are alternatives to feeling really sad and really bad about life. It doesn't look great, but there are so many opportunities. They may be a tiny window of an opportunity, But sometimes if we, learn to prepare ourselves for going through small opportunities and humble ourselves, we'll find that there is great success for us. It's just like we're going through tests, and we need to go through these tests, and then we'll see openings that we can't conceive of at this particular moment in our time, because we're not feeling very happy. We feel disillusioned by life. We feel disillusioned by the system. But don't be disillusioned, because the Most High is ever living and ever present in our lives. So let me go to some music, and we'll come back, and it will just be about us praising the Most High and blessing the Most High with the beautiful music, and also talking to the artists and the producers about some of the ways that we can look at really stepping our values around music and our artistry to another level. Okay, so we'll have that conversation. So let me start and play this tune here. And this is Sista Moorino at Bless Radio 1.
It's a mystic. It's a mystic. Rastafari. Oh, King Selassie, oh Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. Who has set thy glory out of the heavens, and out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, as thou ordainest strength? Because of the adversaries, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. When I consider the works of thy hands, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visitest him? For thou hast made man a little lower than the angels, and crownest him with glory and honor. Thou makest him to have dominion over all things, yea, all beasts of the field, the birds of the air, the fishes of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the parts of the seas. O King Selassie, O Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth.
Balance it deep.
I'm on.
Masati, blessed love. Oh yeah. When you see the chariot rolling, strolling, Jah be on that ride. When you see the chariot rolling, strolling, we'll be on that ride. You don't need a passport, you don't need a visa. All you need is a clean hand and a pure heart. Forget all your vanities, drop your emotional baggage.
I'm
Those things you will have to part. When you see that chariot rolling, strolling, Jah be on that ride. When you see that chariot rolling, strolling, we'll be on that ride. We're not here to stand for equal rights and justice, 'cause our forefathers already stood. Hey, we are here to see equal rights and justice, 'cause Babylon, they are up to no good.
DJ I'm
When you see that chariot rolling, strolling, Jah be on that ride. When you see that chariot rolling, strolling, we'll be on that ride. They say good things come to those who faith. these are the last days. Please don't ask me why. Make sure when you sit up in trees, you better have good deeds, or the chariot just might pass you by. When you see your chariot rolling, strolling, Jah be on the ride. When you see your chariot rolling, strolling, we'll be on that ride. You don't need a passport, you don't need a visa. All you need is a clean hand, pure heart. Forget all your vanities, drop your emotional baggage. With those things, you will have to part. When you see your chariot rolling, strolling, Jah be on the ride. When you see your chariot rolling, strolling, we'll be on that ride.
DJ Iman from Outer London.
Yeah, the beautiful voice of Itana. Wonderful voice.
Can't deny the fact that we're sinners, whose feelings that take form in our hearts. Love, sweet love and emotion falling under vexation of the spirit within a dirty mind. Babylon characteristics. When contention rules, Babylon characteristics. A love of spite and jealousy, Babylon characteristics. Eat your soul away. Know that love and hate are warring. No time for lukewarm vibes in this fight. Battle's getting hotter by the moment. If we don't love Jah, we sure are going to die. We've got to dash those vibes away. We only want righteousness to stay. Babylon characteristics. When contention rules, Babylon characteristics. A love of spite and jealousy, Babylon characteristics. Eat your soul away. Eat your soul away. No respect for peace, love and harmony. A great dislike for all that brings us joy. Love, sweet love and emotion folding under vexation of the spirit within a dirty mind. We've got to dash those vibes away. We only want righteousness to stay. Babylon characteristics. Dash those vibes from you. Babylon characteristics. Manifesting all disguise. Babylon characteristics. Eat your soul away. Eat your soul away. We got to dash those vibes away. We only want righteousness to stay. We got to dash those vibes away. We only want righteousness to stay. Babylon characteristics. When contention.
Yes, that's Amanda Judah from the Bed of Roses album. That's another version that I'm playing today from the Bed of Roses album. That was Amanda Judah. This is Sista Moorino at Bless Radio 1. I hope everyone's doing really well. Just to advertise again, the Bonnie Cosmetics and Hair Shop, which is 50, and that's on 7 Sisters Road, N7 6AA. That's Daniel's shop. It's us supporting black businesses and keeping money in the black community. We've spoken about in the past that on average, Jewish people keep their money in their community. It bounces around 18 times. Asians 14 times, and maybe, I can't remember the European, but maybe about 11, 12 times. But us, we'd be lucky if it's one. So it's really important that us as black people on radio are supporting black businesses, and that black people support black businesses, so that we can see a difference in the way in which money works for us as a community. So that's why I am bigging up Bonnie Cosmetics, and that's at the Holloway end of 7 Sisters Road, for those that are looking for hair products and such like and stuff like that. So that's Daniel's shop. Yes, this is Sista Moorino. I'm here at Bless Radio 1. How is everyone doing? I'm hoping everyone is well and everyone is about their business, because it's all about business. I can talk about business. I did a little video shoot last week. I had to make the dress. I had to make the products. I had to make my own set. I had to invest in that. I'm not 21, but I did what I needed to do to follow through with my own dreams. So that's why I'm not just going to talk about it on the radio. I know that all of us as individuals need to be playing our part as to how we can get ourselves out of the situations that we're in. If we're in situations, not everybody's in situations, but if we're in situations where we want to be doing better, we're going to have to become incredibly more focused with our lives and how we manage our time. So this is Sista Moorino. Another thing I wanted to say just before I go back into some music is, I wanted to speak about Ethiopia. I wanted to big up Ethiopia because the Kush, this is where life began in the beginning, for African civilization started in that area around Ethiopia. And I just wanted to, encourage people that Ethiopia was one of the only areas in Africa that wasn't colonized. And what was interesting, when my friend Christine sent me that to remind me, which is always good because we're all supporting each other on this road of discovery and self-realization, and what came to me when she sent that to me was that that we are natural people, and when we talk about Mahat and ancient civilization and the principles of Mahat, the Ethiopians were able to use everything around them to avert the colonizers coming into their areas. They were able to use the elephants, the bees, and everything else. Because I'm always considering it, how do we break the 400 years of slavery? But then she just reminded me that that is how they used nature, and our ancestors through the Mahat principles used nature as well. And we at that time, when our ancestors were very great and were great in the land, they were very attuned to how to tap into the nature of life to work for them and to avert all enemies that were coming to them. So this maybe is what we need to be doing today. That's what it's saying to me. We need to tap into nature to the best of our ability, because if our ancestors are coming from other realms to come to see us, through us tapping into nature, we'll be able to do the same. We'll be able to reciprocate that with them by just getting focused in the things that you know you're here to do. Get focused with that, and your guides will present themselves to you. I truly believe that. So this is Sista Moorino. Like I said, I didn't really have a topic. All my friends on WhatsApp and all those, I want to big up Barry Dread. I want to big up Froggy. I want to big up Rastanai. I want to big up all the people that are always conversing and talking good stuff. And I want to, continue with the show. So this is Sista Moorino. Back to the music.
Sing this one. Oh, yes, I will. Oh, help me again. When they cry out, there'll come a time when you'll hear a certain cry of need. There'll come a time when you'll have to answer that call. Oh, yes, indeed. Even if you want it, there's nothing you can do about it. Try all you can. There's no way of getting around it. You got to
give a little love where it's needed.
You got to
lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. You will get your blessing with the rising. Give a little love where it's needed. Lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. You will get your blessing with the rising.
One day we've got to face the truth. You are my brother and you are my sister too. So don't be laughing if the grass is greener on your side. The love amongst all God's children has got to be intensified.
So give a little love where it's needed.
Can you
lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. You will get your blessing with the rising. Give a little love where it's needed. Lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. You will get your blessing with the rising. And I know God will be smiling down on you if all you do is good and true.
True in His name, true for His name's sake. Yes, I'll tell you, this is all we got to do.
So give a little love where it's needed. Lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. And you will get your blessing with the rising. Give a little love where it's needed. Lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. And you will get your blessing with the rising. Give a little love where it's needed. Lend a helping hand where it's wanted. You should help your neighbor who is falling. And you will get your blessing with the rising. Give a little love where it's needed.
so soon. You could have vexed till your boss. You could have chat till you're blue. I know what's no face. I just cut and go through. A patient man, I him right down key. So I man just take it easy. So give me a break. Man, cut me some space. Hey, Mr. Back, stop it. I let go from ya. Man, give me some space. Hypocrites and parasites in the rat race. Hey, I'm Mr. Backstabber. I'm Mr. Let go from ya. Man, cut me some space. Say what's your talent, man? Hey, what's your calling? You must be a critic, cause you're always talking. Hey, Mr. Backstabber, let go from ya. Man, give me some space. Hypocrites and parasites, not in a direct race. Look how long we're searching for it. But man, you wouldn't give me, not even a taste of the cake. Hey, Mr. Backstabber, you better let go from ya. Man, cut me some space. Hypocrites and parasites in the rat race. I'm Mr. Laba Laba. Hypocrites and parasites when I in a rat race. A patient man now, him a ride a donkey. So I'm gonna just take it easy. So give me a break now. Man, cut me some space. Hey, Mr. Backstabber, I let go from ya. Hey, Mr. Backstabber, you let go from ya. Hypocrites and parasites, give let go from ya. Hey, Mr. Backstabber, now you better let go from ya.
The wonderful voice of Dwayne Stevenson. I love it.
A word from the wise, don't try to make life on your own. Remember that Jah just by your side. For I was a soul who was lost, and my life was in dismay. For among evil forces in which I played, guns and ammunition were my chosen way of life. With God-fearing people I chose to strive. For all of the lives that are taken, they can never be replaced. But still Jah chose to remember my face. Though I never lived like he wanted, I'm still mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. Cause Father, you rescued me. I've got the scars to show. I daily made it along life's road. Cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark. He was the light at the end of the road. When I was a young boy, growing up in Augustown, we ate from the same pot. We were iron twins all around. From Gola to Colorado, from Rockers to Jungle 12 Tire, Bryson to Dreadites and River, all around. And then the football ground became a battlefield, and my life seemed so surreal. People were falling all around, but Jah helped me to stand my ground. Only Jah could have helped me to stand my ground. Though I never lived like He wanted, I was mindful of what He taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees, 'cause Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. Barely made it along life's road, 'cause when my life got dark, He was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. Oh, never lived to please Him, I never lived like I should. I've lived and I've learned, I've made mistakes along the way. Now I beg for forgiveness each day as I try to pray. So take it from me, son, you can change the world today. And I'm living proof that crime doesn't pay. For I never lived like He wanted, I was mindful of what He taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees, 'cause Father, He rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road, 'cause when my life got dark, He was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. I never lived like He wanted, I was mindful of what He taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees, 'cause Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road, 'cause when my life got dark, He was the only spark, the light at the edge of the road. Though I never lived like He wanted, I was mindful of what He taught me. I'm on my bending knee, I ask the Father, please, Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road. As my life got dark, He was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. I never lived the way He wanted me to. I never lived. Lord, I tell you, no, I'm practicing my religion.
Yes, this is Sista Moorino with Brother Bless in the house. But Brother Bless is hungry, so he's going to join me in 15 minutes, you know? Yeah, it's good to see you, Brother Bless. It's Sista Moorino in the house. How's everybody doing? We're just talking about Ethiopia being the wonderful place that it is with beautiful people, and that this was the wonderful place that the Italians were not able to conquer because of the ability of the Mahat principles, how they tapped into nature to assist with the fight against any pending colonizers who had, you know, their sights on Ethiopia. And we could draw from the situation with what's happened in Ethiopia, how they were never colonized. So, yeah, man, it's so powerful. We're living in seriously difficult. Thank you, Brother Bless. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're living in really serious times where we need to be really focused on what the Spirit is saying, what the Most High is saying, what your guides through your ancestors are saying. They're so prevalent right now, and it's only those that are really, you know, open to hearing will hear, others will not see and not do, and as a result meet sudden destruction. On the same side as that, I had a little conflict with a friend of mine. We fell out for a minute, and I think I must have saw him a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't want to talk to him. And I know that we're supposed to be loving each other, but I just didn't want to talk to him particularly. And I said to myself, I'd give myself another year and I'd talk to him then. But it's and then I just found out the other day that he died, and I thought to myself, my goodness, Shez, I felt so bad, because I knew in my heart I still had enough respect for my friend, but I just wanted to make him suffer a little bit for a longer minute. But he died. Are you coming on, Brother Bless? Come on, Brother Bless. Come on to the
Aye, greetings, family. How are you doing? I got my sister Marina here. She's trying to... Actually, I tell you what, Marina, she has tamed me a little bit, from this little while, man. I kind of humble myself, because I see that things change. I don't have to have my guard up as much as before.
Why?
Because I don't.
Saying. But what I was just finishing, let me just finish what I was just saying. I was just saying that I had a good friend that I had a little argument with a couple of years ago, and I said to him, I didn't mean it. I said to him, I'm not talking to you. But I said, in my mind, I was saying to myself, I'll talk to him next year. I don't want to talk to him now. And then he died.
Before you got to talk to him?
No, I saw him last week, and then he died. So there was no next year for me to say, you know what I'm saying? So I felt so bad.
you did plan to talk to him next year? But
I wasn't that angry with him. I was just angry. I was trying to make a point about why I was angry with him. Because I thought he'd be here next year, but he's not here. He's gone. He's left.
You know how much people we think would have been here next year, and they're not here?
Absolutely. And it hurt my soul, and it made me realise, I said to myself, oh my gosh, who can I go and say lard? Because I think I must have said that to a few more people. Ooh. And I might just need to go and deal with, speaking more. And I think that's what I wanted to just push over to the audience, that there is no guarantee of tomorrow in life. He looked so well. There was nothing that looked out of sort. He wasn't looking sick. It wasn't that. And it just makes you realise that we've got a long way to go as people. And I'm trying my very best to realise that I just got to be more loving in every instance. Even though I felt I was right when I stopped talking to him. It wasn't even a really negative thing. It just, but pride gets in the way sometimes, and I don't want none of us to let pride get in the way. Time is not guaranteed on this earth, and things are moving. So I just want to say that I really am sorry. I just rest in peace, Addy. I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry that you're gone. It really breaks my heart. So, Brother Bless, what are you saying, my brother? You don't have to say. You don't have to say.
I don't know. I just sat here, and then you're telling me this story. It's not something that I could just jump on to say. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like, what am I supposed to say? We want to talk about dead people, or you want to talk about? Because we could talk about dead people.
No, I actually was more talking about the fact that the Mahat principle, with the way that the Ethiopians were not colonized by the Europeans, because they used nature, and what I'm trying to bring. What I'm trying to bring is some similarity in where we're living today, because today we look at what can we do to overcome not the 400 years of slavery, but the whole system of the powers that be, and how they try and lock us down, and I'm just trying to use that as an example that our brothers and sisters have done it before, and we have to tap into nature now, somehow, in our individual circumstances and in our community circumstances, to be able to defeat what looks undefeatable with the colonizers that we live amongst. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Come on, Brother Bless.
Yeah, I hear you. How are you gonna defeat something that you think is undefeatable? Everything has a weakness. Absolutely. Everything. I agree with that. You understand? Everything, there is something that they fear or there is something that they're not able to do. There's always something that they're not able to stand against. Everything has its weakness.
That's true. But within this system, can you think of an example of how how poor people, because I think there's that book called The Art of War. And I don't know if it's South Korea or North Korea, they were able to go from a second-class country to maybe a third-class country to a second-class country. So I suppose within our community, the discussion or the discourse should be about how we can individually tackle the situations that look like, I don't know, what am I saying, Brother Blessed?
Are you gonna tackle the situation with what you call the enemy, the frenemy, or the whatever it is, the no powers that don't be? Yeah, it's not a thing it's not a radio thing. It's not something that you can talk about on air anyway.
Oh, right,
yeah?
right.
Because
that's true. You don't want to tell that.
See, at the end of the day, it's a give and take thing, because we're here in Babylon surviving, and at the end of the day, we shouldn't be struggling. We're supposed to be independent to buy and trade and sell like everybody else. But because we've been pressured and put in a corner that we're limited to trade and sell and buy land like everybody else, there people might think, no, but we can sell, but we can buy, but not as much as you think. You know what I mean? Because I was talking to someone the other day, and I said to them, have you ever been into an Indian shop and see Indian people buying things?
Never. Oh, except the halal shop.
Yeah,
thing.
But I mean, all the shops that we go to, where there's Indian people serving,
never.
Do you see Indian people buying anything?
Never.
Right. So what is that telling you?
It's telling you that they sell substandard food to us.
Right. They're only supplying to us. Yeah. They're only supplying to us because we are the world's biggest consumers. If you want to make money, sell things to black people. You understand? But yet when we set up a little thing for ourselves, we don't support ourselves as much as we should do.
Absolutely not.
We don't trust ourselves, but it's not directly our fault. Some of these things was genetically beaten into us. Some of it.
I don't know if it's genetically beaten into us.
You know, when I make a good example, when you traumatize somebody, can it not affect the child? If the child is in the womb?
Definitely.
Right, so that means genetically that child's being...
some sort of like mutation.
Right, you just genetically that child's being traumatized. Yeah, and then you grow out of that if you want to grow out of that.
It could be a shutdown though. It could be like a system shutdown, or like, rather than a genetic thing. I personally think.
It is a shutdown. Look at this thing now. People are talking about this thing from slavery. I keep saying the same thing, how they say now because of the beating and the slave master, same thing what I've just described, that traumatized thing from the baby in the womb, yeah? But a lot of people look at that as that's why we are the way we are today. But I keep telling them, when you look at our people like Dr. Ben, Dr. Henry Clark, all of these people, Marcus Garvey, all of them, their ancestors went through the same thing, but look what they accomplished.
No, but you said this a couple of times, but I've got an answer for you today, Brother Bless. I've got to have me other answer for you.
Go on.
And so the answer today is even in the 400 years of slavery, there were free men walking around. There was many people that were gifted, that had opportunities that were very different. There were many tiers being built, even on the plantation, as to how they dealt with different people. So they sent us to Jamaica because we didn't take no talk. And they dealt with certain people with skills, and they were situated in a totally different tier from other people. And you're in the same system, but that's how the divide and rule was started on the plantation.
Can
like
I
you said,
elaborate
genetically.
on that a little piece?
When
When they took us, right, the reason why they took us, is not because we was wild, They took us because they knew who we were.
Not wild.
No, when I say, hard to control. You can't control
Kings
this.
of the kings.
No, what it is, we are the children of the Most High.
Trust.
right? And they knew who we were,
Yeah.
right? So they had to get those Pacific people from a Pacific area, from what you call the kingdom of Judea. Yeah, that's where all the original, what they say, the children of the Most High come from there. And then they were brought into different part of Africa. But these what you call barbarians or Romans or whoever they may be at the time, they knew who we were. And they were running us down. They were tracking us down everywhere we went. So we had to leave from Judea, went into different part of Africa. And then when they started the slave trade from the West Coast, they knew who they were going for.
Really?
Yes.
Was that a demon spirit though?
No. What it is, they wanted to get
They
rid
weren't
of...
that smart.
No, they was that smart. They wanted to get rid of the Jews, the black Jews.
Right.
But the black Jews stayed in a certain area, and they were congregated in a certain area. So they knew where to go to get rid of those people. Right, and then from they got rid of those, from they took those people, they brought them to the Caribbean mainly, and some of them went to America, but not as much as they say. Yeah, because they're making it look like all the slaves came from Africa and went to America, which is not true, because we had people in America at the time of slavery who was not slaves.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you had rich, black, wealthy people living in America at the same time when slavery was going on.
Absolutely.
So when they took us and put us in Jamaica, they knew specifically who they were coming for and why. And the reason why they brought us to the Caribbean is because they wanted to keep us away from everybody else, because they knew how dangerous these people are. Now, when you look at the Caribbean now...
Dangerous or wonderful?
Both.
Dangerous and wonderful.
Well, you're wonderful, but you're dangerous because you're a threat, because you carry the truth and you are the children of the Most High. So that makes you dangerous to everybody else.
So when you love great, and then when you hate bad.
No, there's no hate.
There's no hate. Oh, sorry, forgive me.
When you love great,
yeah,
humbly,
but if
in righteousness.
But if you convert the love, that same energy of love is
danger.
an ugly thing. Dangerous. It's dangerous when it's
right.
Yeah.
Everything is balance.
Yeah.
So there has to be an opposite to something for you to see that something is. So, for example, I was listening to a show the other day where a guy was saying God made good and evil. Yeah. So why did God make evil? So my thing to that is that if God did not make evil, how would you know what good is?
Well, I think we
You get what I'm saying? You need something to weigh up against, because if there's no evil and there's no good and you're there, you don't know what is good or what is evil.
You're a robot.
No, you're not a robot. You just live. You just live. You don't know what's good, what's evil. A child doesn't know what's good and evil when they're growing up.
But what I mean is that it's like free thought. When he gives you those both sides, it gives you the power of choice.
Freedom, free will.
Because of the love he had for us. He didn't want us to be robots. That's why I said robots. He didn't want us to be robots. He wanted us to see good and evil so that we could always choose him. And we would always choose the Most High. Not he, but the balance, the Mahat principle of feminine and male principle. No matter how you look at it, it's still male and female principle that run this universe.
Well, I don't know. I just couldn't only give my opinion. Man, I'm not no Bible scholar. I'm not no.
But you know, I'm not saying anything wrong.
But just for the listeners, though, I'm not saying I'm no Bible scholar or anything. I'm just talking my thing from what I've learned through ghetto knowledge and what life has taught me as well. Some of it is historical, but most of it is what life teach I. So I know that these people what are on the Caribbean, these are which some of more or less the 12 tribes of Israel that the Bible talks about. Those people were specifically sent to the Caribbean. Get them out the way. Rebellious people. You understand? These people are the children of the Most High. But this is when you look at where Rasta and all of these things originated from. When I say originated from, it's obviously from the Mama. But when you look at the Caribbean and you look what Rastafari stands for in the Caribbean, you understand that these people carry that spirit with them wherever they go. It cannot die. You understand? They call it Rasta. But before Rasta, what was it called? It's the same spirit. And these people was one with nature, one with creation, one with the Creator.
Come on.
You understand? And they took these people out because these people had the power to cast lightning from the sky. And you look at the things what the people them in the scriptures do, and some of the things that they done, the powers. These are those same people. This is my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Your opinion's valuable. And even though you call it ghettoology, don't diminish the ghettoology that you're talking about. There is nothing. Our reality is real. You know, our reality is real, and you call it ghettoology and you put it in this thing. It's real. It's reality talking, and it's history. It's my history. It's your history. You're talking.
So we're going back to what we're saying in the question, like, is what can we do to deal with these people?
Yeah.
We don't really have to do anything to them. We've just got to find ourselves. Once we find ourselves and know ourselves and know our potential and our power and what we're connected to, plus the melanin, once we know ourselves, everything will fall into place and the power that is within us can come out. You know what I mean? As it says in my art, know thyself. They don't say that for nothing. They say that because once you know yourself, you know the power within you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you another example of some things that a lot of people don't notice, how powerful we are, especially from those who are in the Caribbean, and another reason why they send them over there. When you watch the Bob Marley concert with Bob Marley and Siaga, and he joined the two prime ministers together.
And Manley, Michael Manley.
And Manley.
Yeah.
Right. I watched that thing about 20 times. Yeah. Because I knew what I saw.
What did you see?
I see the fear of God enter the two prime ministers.
It's true.
Yeah.
True.
I see them bow. When I look at it, them man, they bow out of fear. Yeah. They go on like they was afraid of Bob Marley, and I'm going to tell you why I say that as well. He's calling them on the stage. They're not coming on the stage. He's saying that we've got to unite. He's saying it over and over again. Bob Marley done a thing where he was dancing, and when he jumped off the ground, the lightning strike in the clouds. Yeah. Right? So this lightning that strike, I clock it as that ain't normal. That is not just, there was no rain, no thunder, no nothing. All of a sudden, he's doing his thing. So that means that we can really call down lightning and thunder from the skies. We are connected to the earth. We are connected to Mother Nature. We are connected to all of the elements. And when we know ourselves, we can use these elements that we have, or that we are connected to deal with the issue and the problem. But because we're not unified, coming together, we kind of like
but I'm unifying with you, brother Bless, because I see who you are, and I feel that people are unifying. I feel that
this is happening now. Yeah,
but this culture of unifying, that you are my brother and I'm your sister, and if we're walking the same journey, that I will carry your bag and you will carry my bag, and that's how that works. The alignment of the spirit is working in that way. And the irony, you just said something amazing, because my next tune, shall I make you laugh?
You're gonna tickle me.
No, I'm saying you just talked about Bob Marley and the two prime ministers. Can I just play my next tune and then you'll understand why?
Can you play your next tune?
And you have nothing to do with my playlist.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's the same thing that we are.
What's that?
We're having this conversation, and that tune's already ready. So that means this was already pre-planned. I don't know what it is, but so that's what I'm trying to. That's who we are.
Come on,
you understand? But we lost touch of this. But even if we haven't. Yeah, we've kind of disconnected from it. But Babylon know this about we. You understand? So the best thing you can do with these kind of people, give them music, put them on stage, pay them to dance around like niggas them. Because that's what we call it. Pay them to dance around and to wear wigs and to swear and profanity and go on like them have guns and money, and pay them. Make them rich to do that. Make them think, say, yeah, that's the way to go. But that's not the way to go. That's the opposite way to go. You understand? Our riches is tied up in Mother Nature and creation all around us. That's where our riches is. People run for wealth in these material things. But when you go, you leave them all behind you, and people kill one another for what you've left behind.
Come on.
So when you look about what you're going to leave behind,
there's not really nothing to leave behind. Because, for example, when you put the material things aside, what you have now is spiritual. You can't leave that behind. You take that with you wherever you go. Because once you leave the flesh, you still exist in spirit. So that is still with you. That can be handed down to your next generation or your ancestors. That's why we are our ancestors. And we don't realize how powerful we are. And our ancestors 1,000 years ago, how powerful they are. What makes you think that we don't have that power? We have that power. But we're not tracing back our ancestors and not directly physically pointing fingers, say, this is my ancestor, but trace back spiritually how far we can go. And realize, I thought about it the other day and I said to myself, I was in my grandmother.
You was what?
No, listen to what I'm saying to you.
Oh, excuse me.
I was in my grandmother before my mother was born. I was in my grandmother before my father was born.
Wow.
All right? Now, if you go back to that,
A genetic bank.
Yes, and you go back to your great grandparents, you was there.
Yeah.
You had to be there.
Of course.
To be here now.
Come on.
You understand? So how I'm looking at it like this, we are our ancestors.
Come on.
But because we've disconnected ourselves from them, and Babylon teaches you, when you die, you're going to heaven, and you're with God. You're not with us. You're not around us. You're gone to heaven, and you're living in this paradise or whatever the case may be. All right, if that's some people's truth, that's some people's truth. But as far as I'm beginning to overstand, my ancestors is with I. Always with I. As far back as I can go.
Come on.
And if I can go back and trace myself mentally as far back as I can go, then I will end up at the beginning of creation.
Come on.
You understand?
Come on.
You understand? So that's so...
This is the Sista Moorino. I'm going to have to stop you here for a second. This is fabulous, actually, because I was thinking, Most High, I really need to be on point. I love this opportunity, and I thank Brother Bless for the opportunity. Brother Bless, I'm going to hold you, and I want you to hold on to that seat for a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to go and get my breakfast, man.
No, why is he getting no breakfast?
This is why I didn't want to sit down with you, because people have to have my breakfast, you know. And
it's not breakfast time. It's not breakfast time. It's dinner time.
I know, but your dinner time is my breakfast time.
All right, you go and you get something just to put on the table and come back. Anyway, I need to continue with the Sista Moorino show. You were amazing. Please, Brother Bless, come back in a second. But Brother Bless was just stating that Bob Marley, at a particular period of time, wanted to create a better Jamaica.
Yes, and he demonstrated a little dot of the spiritual power that we all have. Yeah, people that talk about Rastaman, we go one thunderball and lightning and thunder because we can do that. We can.
Come on.
We can. We are connected. We are one with. We are the people of the earth. We are the children of the earth. So if we are the children of the earth, that means we are connected to the earth, and the earth is our sister, our mother, and the elements is our brethren and our sisterins,
and our gardens, and our bullets, and
everything,
our
and our weapons is all around us.
Come on.
Listen, Tesla can make electricity out of thin air. Nikola Tesla.
I want you to come back with that.
Yeah.
But before you go there, because I definitely want to deal with the nature. I think we should stay with the nature. The nature is a beautiful
I'm going to leave you with that. But just the little Tesla thing just shows us all. The power is all around us.
The vehicles.
The power, everything. Yeah. Remember, Tesla, he can give you free electric from thin air. You have these people called, it begins with T. I don't know what, Tessarian or whatever. These people had electricity. Yeah, this is in the 1600s. They had electricity. They had heating in their house. Yeah, all these things they had in the 1600s.
No, that was in Mozambique. They had it in the 1300s.
Yeah, but I'm talking in as far as Europeans concerned.
Oh, okay.
They had that technology. They had that technology in the 1600s. But true, they want to make money and control the masses. They don't give it to us for free. Right. But the point I'm trying to make is the power is all around us.
Right.
Always in the elements. If you continually look outside, just stand there and just keep staring, all of a sudden you will see little tiny bits.
Because you're kind of bringing up the fact that, like, that's why, you always get 100,000 letters. They're using the trees to make these letters. The trees are there to distract your mind and keep you off what would be innate for you to go back to the Most High in your center, find your center, have that peace.
How
and
you
have
say
that
the
space.
trees will distract you? What do you mean the trees are
I'm
there?
saying that the trees are used to make paper, innit?
Yeah.
So the paper is the ones that they're pushing through your envelope.
Yeah.
I mean, through your door.
Yeah.
Every
To
day
distract you.
To constantly distract you from ever having a moment. So you might say, yeah, I'm going to go in and make some marvelous music. And the worst kind of letter comes through your door and you're distracted. And it's a system of constantly bombarding.
So that you don't think for yourself.
So you don't think for yourself, yeah.
Right. So you need to know who you are. All right, then.
But Brother Bless, I really need to answer the spirituality of what you just did. And that to me is a testament.
But we are. Listen, as above, so below, as within, so without. Everything in nature is within I and I.
Absolutely.
You understand?
And I want to show you that what you said, and I never planned to be on the show with you.
Yes, you did.
I didn't, Brother Bless, because I didn't know you were going to talk about no Africa.
I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I was
Exactly.
going to talk about food and breakfast,
And-
but you want me to talk.
No, I want to play this tune because of what you said, and I just wanted to just do that. This is Sista Moorino at Bless Radio 1. You can find us at TuneIn, on the TuneIn app. We are Bless FM.
Yeah, just type in Bless FM and you will see Bless Radio 1.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And the number for us here is 079 444 31366.
And the site may be down because we're upgrading the site as well. I don't know if it's down yet, but we're going to be upgrading the site now. So we're going to change up. It's time for a change.
But without further ado, which I like, it's a very British word, but I like without further ado. I'm going to play.
What you do?
I'm going to do play. I'm going to play the do of Bob Marley right here.
All right.
Yeah.
Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're going to our father's land. Yeah. How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man, yeah, to see the unification of all Africans, yeah. Has it been said already? Let it be done, yeah. We are the children of the Rastaman. We are the children of the Iron Man. Africa unite, 'cause the children wanna come home, yeah. Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our father's land. Yeah. How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man to see the unification of all Rastaman. Yeah. Has it been said already? Let it be done. I tell you who we are under the sun. We are the children of the Rastaman. We are the children of the higher man. So, Africa unite. Africa unite, yeah. Unite for the benefit of your people. Unite for its later than anything. Unite for the benefit of my children. Unite for its later than anything. Africa, await its creators. Africa, awaiting its creators. Africa,
the wisdom of Bob Marley. And this is one of my favourites. One of my very, very favourites. Lucky Dube. Rest in peace. Well, not even rest in peace. You've ascended to the ancestors. Lucky Dube.
Good old days, with the good old ways, give good God praise. Ha! I jalo. All people.
Ballistic.
Yes, I know. DJ Jungle, Spongler, Southside, Nonneville.
Yes, this is Sista Moorino at Blessed Radio 1. This is Bounty Killer. We love it.
Toast two together.
Now no mercy.
Play football and cricket as one
Nonneville,
brother.
Mountain View, Walton Park Road.
No children
rest a jungle.
Not a mercy.
Or you might black
My
a
road.
Raymond.
No way, my brother.
You a go fight against your brother.
You gotta be crazy.
That no right, my
Cassava
sister.
peace, white tower.
Let us all
Let's do that.
live as
Come
one.
here,
Well,
tribalism is a sin. So hear me know no king. So if a man no hurt you, why the hell you want brush him? The devil in your skin. Ah, say you a smoke the king. Me sit the badness of you like a puppet on a string. You say you fight to win. So how the war begin? No, I know they you feel you go like Bush and Bin Laden. A bomb you want to fling. Alright, then pop the pin. But make sure when you fling it, you a bomb the system. A gun you want to sling. I say you're not nothing. You no fight face to face. You want no boxer, you don't know ring. The truth behind you bring. Might end up clip your wing. So listen when the dance master sing. Well,
throw away your gun,
Throw them away.
throw away your knife.
we don't
Let
need
us
that.
all
Jamaicans, be
unite.
patriotic.
Everyone is living in fear.
Back to
Just you this
political differences.
ballistic
Hear me
affair.
a shot a bus and skin up tear everywhere too.
Ballistic affair.
We don't need that. Shot a bus and skin up tear them no care.
Ballistic affair.
Me did not tell them from 93. War and no good sitting for you. It could have been nice for me. Man fees up for the killing spree. Cause you live a garden, me live a jungle. Make we can't agree. Me don't know where them your youths are free. Kill a man and when tomorrow you see him can't walk free. And look a visa, him a try to flee. But unfortunately him can't find the visa piece. So
We used to lick Charlie's Cook and
right now we used to live like Gully Brothers, Jungle Brothers.
play football and cricket as one brother.
Go nice and marble and all them things on the street corner.
Not you, you rest a jungle.
Father Smart tell them.
Or you might black a Raymond.
Them for no rasta.
You want to fight against your brother.
We don't depend that, you know.
That no right, my sister.
Success we are deal with. Bump
Let
it.
us all live as one. Well,
You know it's bound to kill.
ballistic affair.
And Leroy then smart together. Play smart.
Yes, that was Bounty Killer. I'm just going to play one more tune off the Bed of Roses album. This is by Headtop and Read Them. So have a listen to this one.
Them not have no conscience. Them watch every pence. You know how me know people. A long time they owe me, you know. What me say? Me read them like a book. Smiling on me face, owe me money, and me know say the people them a crook. Me read them like a book. Always tell lie and tell story, and you know something them a look. Me read them like a book. Smiling on me face, owe me money, and you know say the people them a crook. Me read them like a book. Always tell lie and tell story, and you know something them a look. Oh, you so mean. Money on you is not friend. That's why me never see you spend. Him stingy. Him want everything free. Selfish, never think about me. Titus. Name brand name for them. Titus. Them have a money problem. Titus. I don't want see them. Them no know about the word payment. Me read them like a book. Smiling on me face, owe me money, and me know say the people them a crook. Me read them like a book. Always tell lie and tell story, and me know something them a look. Me read them like a book. Smiling on me face, owe me money, and me know say the people them a crook. Me read them like a book. Always tell lie and tell story, and you know something them a look. What me say? Vamos! Some a uno don't have no use. Chatty so can't get me confused. Vamos! Go and look someone else to use. When me see you, me just shout out Scrooge. Hey, a people money, them want penetrate. Them oh so long, and the people them a wait. Them will thief out the food from your plate. Them a fish, always looking for a bait. Me read them like a book. Smiling on me face, owe me money, and me know say the people them a crook. Me read them like a book. Always tell lie and tell story, and you know something them a look. Me read them like a book. Smiling on me face, owe me money, and you know say the people them a crook. Me read them like a book. Always tell lie and tell story, and you know something them a look. Hey, what me say? Where me money there? Where me money there? You tell me yesterday, now it's today. Where me money there? Where me money there? You tell me Friday, now it's Saturday. Don't bother come around, cause you only want to beg a pound. I said don't bother come around. I only see you when
Yes, yes, that was Head Top. And the next tune is Chronics. Warrior. That's what we need to be, is 10 steps ahead of our enemies.
Welcome, Chronics, the general. Stepping on the bar, make a entry. Winnings, me innings, Chronics, make a century. Steam chalice, we have the better sense. Better that than we have Beretta plenty. Babylon, them a pre-man in the city. If we find out them a demon in the city, when it all boil down to the deep and integrity. See it clear, them mix up in a iniquity. Stepping at the wild battlefield with the pagan and a sprinkle. I love me feet and I want to see I spend Kyle and my seed. But still I see I'm a make I and me shield. Hey, them a pre-man in the city. Get to find out them a demon in the city. When it all boil down to the deep and integrity. See it clear, them mix up in a iniquity. Over evil, right for me heart. Babylon afraid when they get the and start. Man a warrior boy. Tell them man a warrior boy. Full suit of armor, sword in a hand. Ready to go chant down dirty Babylon. Man a warrior boy. Tell them man a warrior boy. Chronics real warrior. Similar real warrior. Real warrior boy. Jack over evil warrior. Babylon you might win the fight, but a Christ win the war. Can't trick me with vanity, no frightened figure. All the money in the world and the prettiest girl. Tell you all Jezebel, me no frightened fear. It's on the roots and Baba war. If I don't you come a war with you, no bother war. Hey, real Spartan in a Tata war. In a khaki suit like me go a Calabar. Me tell them from day one, just up in a me helmet of salvation. Me no care when the bucket up land be wrong. Sing fence, Teflon a step on Satan. Babylon them a pre-man in the city. Get to find out them a demon in the city. When it all boil down to the deep and integrity. Them mix up in a iniquity. Over evil, right from the heart. Babylon afraid when they get the hand start. Man a warrior boy. Tell them man a warrior boy. Full suit of armor, sword in a hand. Ready to go chant down dirty Babylon. Man a warrior boy. Tell them man a warrior boy. Chronics real warrior. Similar real warrior. Real warrior. Real warrior. Jehovah real warrior. Real warrior. Jehovah evil. Right for me heart. Babylon afraid when they get the hand start. Man a warrior boy. Tell them man a warrior boy. Full suit of armor, sword in a hand. Ready for go chant down dirty Babylon. Man a warrior boy. Tell them man a warrior boy. Chronics real warrior. Ten view. Real warrior. Real warrior. Real warrior.
Yes, yes, that was Chronics. I love Chronics. He's a young man that is so clear and wonderful. But right now I have Brother Bless with me. Again, thank you, Brother Bless, for rejoining us. Because you were helping the topics today. Because I thought I was going to talk about recording and copyrights. And I think I'll leave that to next week, and ways that artists can make more money. And even as artists. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. So I'll leave that to next week. We have the privilege of being in the presence of the wonderful Brother Bless. So welcome, Brother Bless, again. Have you eaten some food?
Boy, I just a boss of back bread and just cool with that.
So we were talking about nature, just without further ado, because there's a couple of tunes I still want to play. You know, I want to play a tune, Brother by Brother Barry Dread, later on, especially as I've lost my friend Addy. I want to play Brother by Barry Dread on the Bread Basket album. I want to definitely play that tune for my brother. So we were talking about nature and how in Africa the Ethiopians were able to avoid colonization because they had ancient understanding about principles almost, yeah?
The elements.
The elements, ecology, and all the rest.
Elements. All right, then. Babylon put everything into the movies. They tell you what go on. Yeah?
Yeah.
They got this film called, is it the Six Elements?
The Six Elements.
The Six Elements, yeah. The guy, what's his name? That guy who's supposed to jump off of buildings and all this. What's his name?
Oh, Bruce
Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah?
I know that film.
Right. That film they showed you, yeah,
Yep.
that they needed all the elements of creation to save the planet. Yeah. Earth, water, air, fire. Yeah. To save the planet. Now, all these elements are available for us, but the key ingredients, they could not work without the main thing. The one thing that joined all those elements together and made those elements powerful was love.
Wow.
And because we, as people, need to love each other more or need to express love more, then we can link we can work with those four elements. This is my opinion. Yeah.
Love with you. Love. When you say love, it's such a generic term because I have to be honest with you. I'm glad you're having this conversation with me. There's so many people that believe that we should be loving our enemy, and I truly don't believe loving our enemy has helped. I look at the community now in this kind of so-called receding of a market, where all those brothers that were leaving the community with great aspirations for what they were going to do outside of the community are now back in the community. Because the love is, they've come back to the same black people that they need. But what I'm saying, what is love? Is love just? Is love everybody? Does everyone love us?
All right, back to the thing. Remember we were saying that the fifth element, the one thing that hold them together is love. The key to the whole thing was love. Now, when them talk about you must love your enemies, yeah, and you must forgive your enemies, yeah, they're not. It's not saying. To me, it's true, but they're not. But if it depends how you look at it. If you look at it as a thing like, let's drop it like this, then. You go through. Hi.
I'm here.
I said, you go through life now. You pass life. You go through the judgment. Yeah. Now, you're going to come to the judgment gate of my heart, and your heart's going to be weighed by the feather on the scales. Yeah. Now, in your heart,
yes, sir,
you have hatred for another race of people.
Yeah.
That is going to stop you. That's weighed on your heart.
What's going to stop me?
The weight that you're carrying.
What's going to stop me? It's going to stop me from going through.
No, well, according to how it is, your heart has got to be as light as a feather. Yeah?
Yeah, but that's...
I'm just getting, just hypothetically
okay,
then, yeah?
Okay.
You say your heart's got to be as light as a feather to go through. Yeah? Now, if we're carrying this negative thing and you die with it, then isn't that going to hinder you? Right, so I hear you. It depends on your spiritual path, what you're dealing with. Some people, it don't matter. But if you're if we're claiming that we're on the spiritual, righteous path of one love and this and that, then yes, then that means that forgiveness and love really does. No, it applies to you. When I say forgive, I don't mean you must be an idiot. This is where people get it twisted. Yeshua teach us to forgive. Forgive the enemy. Yeah, he teaches us to forgive. But when they was in the temple selling and trading, it didn't apply. He went and he mashed up everything and ran them out. Why didn't he turn around and say, I forgive you for what you're doing in my father's house? But no, he ran them. So there is a time for everything. There is a time to forgive and there's a time for war. You understand? Everything is balanced. You don't have to just forgive and, like the church people, they forgive. And I forgive certain people because I don't want to carry feelings for them. I don't need to be carrying their negative vibration. So I forgive them so that I don't have to carry it. I let it go. But that doesn't mean that I forget.
I understand, but I can't even Putin if you listen to some of the the conversation the Russian leader is having, he and many of the European leaders are saying that that's almost stupidity, that we will just go beyond and say, oh, we're just going to forgive while you cut off my foot, while you constantly cut off my foot. That's why they're saying not Brother Putin, I'll call him brother in this instance. He's saying that Africans have never had, they don't show themselves to be sensible because you're always trying to friend up someone that's doing horrible things. You just said that know thyself means that you know your enemies and you keep a natural distance from your enemy. And to me, it confuses anything. I mean, everyone to their own. I know that everyone's going to say, yeah, we got to, unite and unite. Unite? What do you mean unite?
Yeah, but there's a time for everything. And I think,
I don't hate people because they're another race. I'm trying to say, at this moment in time, is a time to get to know self. And one thing that brothers and sisters are not giving themselves an opportunity to do is that said thing.
I agree with that. And as we're going back to the forgiveness thing, doesn't mean you must be soft. Yeah? There's some rude boy them. I know some cold heart people. You understand? But they also can find it in themselves to forgive certain people. And at the same time, they also have to defend and uphold what they're dealing with. If you understand, for example,
there's good people. I've got one of the best doctors in the world, brother. Listen, I know. Sometimes I even say, the brothers don't even pick decent people of other races. They should pick my doctor. She's brilliant, but they won't pick her. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not as simple as that. People would love to put standing strong and being true to self in a particular box and say, oh no, you can't do this. Oh yes, you can. Or it doesn't. We don't all fit into it. It's not natural. But all I can say is that the liberation struggle, for all those that support the liberation struggle of whatever race and nationality is, that's absolutely beautiful. And we will all meet on the other side of the jurisdiction. But at the same time, there is something that is missing, fundamentally missing from the standard of know thyself. Because knowing thyself means are able to look after thyself, look after their needs, look after thy family, look after our situation, have certain land, work with that kind of concept about it. We seem to have given up on the concepts. And that's madness, Brother Bless. And I'm so glad Sista Moorino is saying this on radio, because this is going to be on radio forever as long as I live. So I'm glad I said that, because I really wanted
it's true,
to say
but
that.
as I said, there's a time for everything. There is a time to forgive and there's a time to war. You understand? When you look at all the kings or rule the earth, if they're going to forgive everybody that commit a crime, then he's not going to be a proper king. He's not going to be a proper ruler. A ruler have to make rules and cast judgment. You know what I mean? And punish who needs to be punished.
In this world that we're living in now, you can't say nothing against homosexuality. Homosexuality is on every program, every advert that to do with black people. They are trying to filter to you the most obscene behavior in a culture that they know it actually curses their way of life.
Yeah, but it's their culture.
But it's up close. But then I'm saying at the same time, that's why it is natural to separate from that means you harm. And at the same time, I was listening to Fly Nubian Queens in America. First time I tapped into them was the other day. And I found a lot of similarities with the shows that I was doing. I thought, wow, that's amazing. That's alignment. And even one of the ladies, she was mixed race. And she said that she was brought up by a black mother, and she was glad to be brought up by a black mother, because she found that her dad was very, very racist, and that her aunties from her mother's side, all of them had black children, but she said they were all still racist. They still were brought up by the same system that perpetuated racism, projected the same racism through to their children, didn't value evils against the community. There's a lot. So I'm trying to say, Rather than getting into the mess and the havoc and be downtrodden by all of the mess, there are certain things about liberation struggle that means that black people need to know thyself, stand up for thyself, and have an economic structure like everybody else. Because at the moment, the whole of Europe and the rest of the world are looking at Africa as if they are incompetent to rule through themselves. Because no one wants to take up that mantle as if it's real. And it is real, brother bless.
Yeah, it's real, but it's time.
It's a real problem.
I think, well, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm listening to the conversation that we're having with them between ourselves. And I think, although this forgiveness thing is, to me, is a good thing, but there's a time, as I said, there's a time for everything. And I think now is the time to stand up.
Yeah.
There is a time to forgive and walk in righteousness and all these things, but...
Yeah. But with the righteous, though, isn't it? You can't walk with the devil.
Yeah, I know, but if we're walking in righteousness, then that's where the forgiveness thing, when we look at that, we're going to say, well, there's certain people we have to forgive, but are you going to forgive a man that chop off your mother hand and foot and cut her belly open? And you're going to turn around and ask God to forgive them. Yeah. And the reason why, I'm going to give you one of the reasons why I asked the Most High to forgive people that piss me off. Right? The reason why I asked the Most High to forgive them, and the reason why Yeshua said, forgive them for they know not what they do. Right? People think it's, oh God, oh please forgive them, and all loving and ever merciful. From my part, it's not like that. I will say to them, I will say, Most High, forgive them, because they got no idea of the judgment that awaits them for what they have done. And the judgment what's coming for them is dread and terrible. And I don't want them to go through that judgment, because the judgment is dread. So Most High, forgive them, because I don't want them to go through the judgment, what they're going to go through, because they got no idea what they're going to go through.
You don't want them to go through the judgment that they're going to go through?
There's some things that people go through, there's some things that I personally have been through that I wouldn't even want my own enemy to go through.
Oh, wow.
You understand? I don't even want them to see some of the things that I've seen.
But believe me, we're amazing people, because we've done 400 years of consistent penetration of ugliness onto our people. And to hear people like yourself saying that is still amazing, still, that people still want to love people that are there.
It's not love, it's the dread. Everything, as I said, everything is balanced. You have good and evil, right and wrong. And so that means the opposite of love, they're going to say is hate. The opposite of light is darkness. But then when you look at energy, darkness is a different kind of energy, you know. The energy of darkness, there's no love in darkness. There's no light in darkness. There's no compassion in darkness. There must probably be fear in darkness. Depends how deep. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but in light,
I do.
There is love. In light, there is compassion. In light, you can see. But everything balances. You have to up the opposite of the other one.
But we feed into, what we have to remember is the infrastructures are the buildings and the construct. The superstructures are the values they put into our brain over the 400 years that we haven't separated from. And so that's what I'm saying. We're fighting with one leg and one arm and with one part of the brain. We're not working effectively.
That's what they say.
No, we aren't. We're not. We're talking about nature, and that we need to tap back into the Mahat principles of us being in line with nature. And a lot of us, we don't know really how to do it. We've had moments of doing it where we see greatness, but we're still bound by this physical world and who runs it.
Who thinks they run it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the word. Who thinks they run it? But as I said, because we are children of the earth.
Of the Most High.
And the earth too, because the earth is the elements, and the earth is the Most High.
Yeah.
So that means the earth, everything that is in the earth, the dirt, is in us. The chemical composition of the earth is in us, in the trees.
Come on.
It's in us.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So that means if everything that the Most High created is in us, that means we are connected to it. We are one with it.
Yeah.
But we don't relate to it, and we don't use it, and we don't have a relationship with it.
Yeah. Because it's been beaten away from us.
No, because we choose not to tap back into it. You know what I mean? For instance, as I said,
they gave me church. I mean, at the age of 3, I was in church.
Yeah, but church is 50-50. They're giving you something, but they're taking away something.
what I'm saying, they gave me church instead of me having the opportunity to deal with finding how like the Ethiopians who are truer to their understanding of the tradition, why they could defeat in the 20th century the colonizers coming in with their massive technology. It's, you know, they still used nature to destroy them. And this is what I'm saying. I really would like us in this situation, which is psychological as well, you know, psychological and so many other things playing against us. That's why I'm saying, how do we deal with bringing nature to work with us now in this place, in this place? How do we get nature to work with us so that we can defeat our enemies in this situation? But if we believe that our enemies are not our enemies, I think that's a problem there. That's a conundrum.
Our enemies are our enemies, and this is what people need to realize. It's like there's not many races on the planet that really, honestly, check for us.
No.
You'll find a handful in each race, but the majority, 50% at least,
are jealous.
I don't know about the jealousy. I just said they don't check for it.
No, I'm saying they're jealous of the capabilities. It's just who we are. If you're capable of something and someone else is not capable of it, it becomes jealousy. Because I've never seen so many people, when horrible things happen to black people, who stands up for black people? If I was another race and I saw another race being hurt, I'd be upset about that. I would voice it.
No, but don't you see what's going on? When Babylon see Babylon, their own people in a conflict, they're gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna go to Afghanistan because they've got 10 British people captive." So they're sending the army to go and rescue. I remember when they used to send in armies and cause war because people got 10 British tourists as prisoners. Just 10. You want to send in an army and create war and make a big scene on the TV for months because these 10 people are being captive. But when it comes to us, none of the world don't come to our aid. And if they do come to your aid, they come to give you something to kill you or slow poison you, or they want something in return. Or even if they do give you something, they want something back. So they want land, they want oil, they want payment. They don't give.
If someone's feeding me Nestle's milk and they put aborted fetus in there, I'm not trying to be that person's friend. If it has constantly been a part of the 400 years, every day, day in, 7 days a week, 365 days for the last 400 years, how is it that we truly have got to the point where we really are happy to say that we're at peace with that? I'm not at peace with that, Brother Bless.
Well, I look at it like this. We are sitting on either. So now we're sitting on the richest country on the planet.
No.
Yeah? No.
Oh, so hypothetically.
Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
The richest country on the planet. You have all the resources on the planet. And what do? Instead of you use your resources and invest in yourself, you make other people come in and invest in you. So you need them to invest in you so that you can make money. You don't need them. This is where our Africa's going wrong. You don't need them to invest.
Absolutely.
Just do your own investing and look at all of these countries where we live, black people live, and invest in us.
Come on.
Trade with us.
Come on.
Set out them, for example, another thing. The Prime Minister of Ghana went to the Caribbean.
The current one?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Just the other day. Right? He went to Jamaica and everything,
It's
yeah?
mystical.
And I said this. I said, what we need, we need Africa to open up an airline to all the Caribbean countries.
Yes.
So they can go from the Caribbean to Africa. That is going to be the beginning of our rising.
Come on.
Yeah, that's the way it has to go.
Isn't there one from Ethiopia to Ghana going on at the moment?
Yeah, but it's not the Ethiopia one. Everybody's thinking the Ethiopia one is a good thing, but that's not for us. What we need to do is the ones them do upon the slave plantation. That's the link you need to fix. You understand? And once you fix that link and make planes available from Africa to the Caribbean, you're going to see how much people come from the Caribbean to Africa See what go on. People from Africa come from Africa to the Caribbean. Next thing you know, we start trading.
Absolutely.
Right, they got food in the Caribbean. Make them bring their food over here. Make we trade over backwards and forwards, clothes, material. After a while, we will become one country.
And leave them with their plastic
Right,
food.
and get rid of and that's it. Look at that. We got all the rice, everything, land, but yet we're buying Uncle Ben's rice.
Please. And it's not even Uncle Ben.
And it's not even Uncle Ben. You understand what I'm saying?
Trust me with
So
that.
when you look at what we are buying and what we are eating, if I was a white man and I have people like that, I ain't letting them go.
What do you mean?
If I have people that I can give anything, any rubbish to, and they will eat it, they will buy it, they won't complain, they'll just take it.
We've been
I would,
beaten
I,
down. You can't blame them. I mean, we've been beaten
we mean you
down.
can't blame the Jamaica
We're
have
coming out.
land. Our country's got land, you know. Why can't we grow our own rice? Africa got land. Why can't we grow our own rice? Africa got gold and diamonds. All they got to do is invest in those things
Yeah, but
and import and export. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but we're still under the remnants of imperialism.
Imperialism what?
Yeah, but you know what, Brother
Get
Bless?
them out of the country.
I
If I
have-
tell you something,
I have
when I
abs-
got Africa, I'm going to kick them out. You know?
No, I'm kicking them
I'm
out too.
kicking their backside
And this
out.
is not for anyone. I speak to my friend. I've got a really good friend called Christopher Hill. You know, big up Christopher Hill. He watches my shows, and he knows.
does he watch it?
He doesn't. No, sorry. He listens to. I said that before as well. Mind me now. Anyway, and I tell him, I'm not trying to be good is good and bad is bad. I mean, at the end of the day, whoever can't see this situation, the conditions of the African in the world, and has no empathy for it doesn't need to be a friend of mine. I need to be true and honest and transparent. So at least we can be in a situation where even if people are in mixed relationships and they feel inadequate with conversations that I'm having, that they can hear and learn from some of the things that you could do better. And that's one thing that if we're all born up in here, you're gonna brought up to be racist, and you're gonna maybe perpetuate that through your children, and you have to do something more to teach your children, educate yourself so you can educate children rather than taking kids and just taking them one side and then this side. There's a lot to talk about, but we're running out of time and we've got 7 minutes, you know.
You got 7 minutes.
I've got 7
Well,
minutes.
I'm going to leave you with this. There's good and bad in all race. And although we're talking our thing about this race and that race and white people and this and that, there is good and bad in all races. You understand? When people, as I said, when people
there
dead,
is.
your family, you want to find out how horrible some people are around you. Your own people will sell you out. Look what them do with Marcus Garvey. All certain people, certain of our leaders, who kill them? Their own people.
Yeah, but
sell them out. So there's good and bad in all races. That's what I'm just saying.
Well, let's not do the maths like that. Let's do the maths like the ancient Egyptians said. I'm sorry to do, but I'm saying know thyself means that that you should know your family, and it's so important to build a great African civilization, which is black people. Well, you have a great European civilization, which are European people. You have great Chinese civilization, which are Chinese people. But for some reason, we have some apologies for wanting to have a black civilization. And that, Sista Moorino, is what I believe. Even though I'm talking in the third person. Listen, Brother Bless, I have missed you to having a little banter. And you know we're not always going to agree with everything, but I still love your energy. And and it's cool because we're not at the point where you need to make me believe what you believe. And I don't need to make you believe. But we're still going in the right direction because the Almighty is everything. And we're all on this journey.
We're on this journey, but we've woken up. What it is, a lot of you have woken up. Yeah. That's the only way I can describe it. A lot of you have woken up. You're on a different, as I say, we've just elevated. But because we're still dancing to the same tune, we're still doing the same things we used to do 5 years ago. The things we used to do, we're still doing the same thing. We need to realize.
I'm gonna have to kick you off now. I've got 6 minutes.
Yeah, no, we're no rush, right?
Yeah.
So, because we're still doing the same things, we don't realize that we have elevated. If you look at nature, look around you, look at the creatures, look at the animals, they have evolved. I talked to a fox the other day in the road, and the fox got up and it did exactly what I told it to do.
I understand that.
Right? So that means if the fox now can be in tune, and enough of nature is more in tune now than ever before, how can we still in the same position? Because we're not paying attention to what's going on, and we're still yamming the same more crack in our box, chicken in a box, crack Donald's, and we're still feeding ourselves with all of this rubbish. How you expect to be tuned into Mother Earth?
Powerful.
If you ain't eating what Mother Earth provides.
Come on.
All right? So when you're eating what the devil provides, you're going to live like a devil.
Yeah, but there is unity in what we're saying. Even though it seems like we're speaking to, we have to speak like this to get to a place. We have to speak our hearts so that we can get clarity. And you're right about darkness. No one wants to live in darkness and hatred of anyone else. But it's so important to save our children and save ourselves and save our children in the process. So thank you, Brother Bless. I hope we can do this once every so often. You come and help me with your lovely voice, Brother Bless. Now, I want to play a tune for Brother Addy. What do you want to say before you go? Because I'm going
to say, let's just get connected to the creation.
Definitely.
The 4 elements of the earth. Earth, water, air, fire. Join them together, bind them together and wrap them in the ball of love that comes from your divine self.
Wow.
And then you will see the power.
Lord of mercy. All right, that's powerful. Brother Bless, that was amazing. Right, so this is Sista Moorino at Bless Radio 1. We're coming to a quick conclusion. I'm still going to try and push through 2 tunes just to end, but this one is dedicated to Brother Addy because he left without me being able to heal from a situation of vexation. So don't hold no vexation with no one because you don't know if you'll see them tomorrow. He didn't look sick, so look after you one another and bring peace. This is a tune by Brother Barry Dread. It's called A Brother. It's on the Breadbasket album, and I love this tune, so I'm going to play this tune by Brother Barry Dread.
Clive was an awful man with only love in his heart. His spirit reached out and touched everyone. Clive walked with peace and love and always gave you hope, yeah. A joy of knowing great things to come. Clive was a man who loved children. Though he had none of his own, yeah, he would do his best to help. He was a brother. He was a brother. Oh yeah, he was a brother. He was a brother. Oh yeah. Established his own business, took it higher. Oh, he was a great young man you could admire. Inspired the community, did works for you and me. Don't know why he had to go. He was a joy to know. He was a brother. He was a brother. Oh yeah, he was a brother. He was a brother. Oh yeah, he was a brother.
Yes, I'm running out of real time there. I'm going to play that tune again, but I love that tune by Barry Dread, but you can get that on the Breadbasket album. I've run out of time. I'm just going to try and squeeze this one more little tune back in before I finish. This is Sista Moorino. I'm out right now, so I've really enjoyed being with Brother Bless today. and yeah, just enjoy yourselves and look after one another and learn to forgive each other, I suppose, because I've just lost a friend, a really good friend of mine. So anyway, yeah, take care. This is the last tune. This is Sista Moorino. Afi win.
Get the rhythm around. The bass is in control. Finger you got on a strong. Oh,
yeah, that tune was by Chuck Victor.
Yo, me tell me black people them not fi walla in no sin. Me can't stop trying me have to win. Yo, me tell the whole of them say that a music and me thing. Me can't stop trying me have to win. Yo, what it out of the way when me soda a swing. Can't stop trying me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people everything is everything. Up there, black people keep your head up. The fire when me about the whole Jamaica gets red up. For different poor people, you know me can't sell me fed up. The place I feel lively, it can't dead up. People, you know me care for them. Me a one DJ, we a set the way for them. You know, say Saturday will be there for them. You know, say that me food, me have to share for them. Sing it every day for them. What? Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people, them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell the whole of them say that a music and me thing. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people, them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, watch it out of the way when me soda a swing. I'm starter, leader, people that call me no. My competition people, them some things for them to know. You know go see me and the boy I go toe to toe. Me rather make me locks them a grow. Me big up all the farmer them. We are plant the banana cassava and the corn again. We are feed the people them out of them farm again. Yo finger, you really get warm again. You kick like storm again. Yo, me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell the world of them say that a music and me thing. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell the world of them say that a music and me thing. Up there. Black people keep your head up. The fire when me about the whole Jamaica get red up. For different poor people, you know me can't sell me fed up. The place I feel like it can't dead up. People, you know me care for them. You know Sister Moorino will be there for them. Me a one DJ, we a set the way for them. You know say me a lock it every day for them. I burn it down ways for them. Walk. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people, them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell the whole of them say that a music and me thing. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people, them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell the whole of them say that a music and me thing. I'm starter, dealer, people that call me do. Me come to teach the people them some things with them not know. You know go see me and a boy I go toe to toe. Me rather make me locks them go. Me big up all the farmer them. We a plant the banana cassava and the corn again. We a feed the people them out of them farm again. Them say go and stand in the door, you get warm again. You kick like storm again. What? Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people them not fi walla in a sin. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, watch it out of the way when me soda a swing. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell the whole of them say everything is everything. Me can't stop trying, me have to win. Yo, me tell me black people them not fi walla in a sin. Up there, black people keep your head up. The fire when me around the whole Jamaica get red up. For different poor people, you know me can't say me fed up. The place I feel lively, it can't dead up. People, you know me care for them. You know say in the horrors I set the way for them. You know say Saturday will be there for them. You know say me I feel like it every day for them.